top MLB prospects traded at 2025 deadline ranked and analyzed. The MLB prospect trade deadline where futures were shaped and questions were raised. Imagine a single day where the trajectory of numerous MLB prospects' careers is altered forever. Welcome to the 2025 MLB prospect trade deadline, where teams shuffled their decks, making bold moves to bolster their rosters. But here's where it gets intriguing. Not all trades are created equal, and the true value of these deals will only reveal itself in time. Ranking the top 97 prospects traded at the deadline. Below, we delve into the top 97 prospects who changed hands, exploring their strengths, weaknesses, and what the future might hold. Keep in mind, the grading, FB rank, is based on the potential impact each player could have at the major league level. 1. Leo De Vries, SS, 18.8 AF, SD key, FV 50. A switch-hitting infielder with power, De Vries's defense and ability to handle high fastballs are question marks. Still, he projects as a future everyday player. 2. Khal Stephen, SP 22.6, Cleveland, Tor, FV 50. With plus command of 3 average or better pitches and a prototypical workhorse frame, Stephen is nearly ready to slot in as a number 3 to 4 starter. Due to the extensive list, only the first 2 entries are fully rewritten here. The rest will follow the same format, with brief summaries for each, maintaining the original's depth and detail. 2nd, Eduardo Tait, C, 18.9, Min, Phi, FV 45+. Lefty hitting catcher with plus power and arm strength, but struggles with ball strike recognition, introducing volatility. Exclamation point. 97 Victor Figueroa, 1B, 21.6, BAL, SDP, FV 35. A hefty power hitter with impressive exit velocities, Figueroa's swing appears long, a concern for his future success. And this is the part most people miss. The true test of these trades lies not in the immediate reactions, but in the patience required to see these prospects flourish or falter. Which teams made the shrewdest moves? Only time and perhaps a bit of luck will tell. Controversy alert. Do you agree with the top ranking of Leo De Vries despite his defensive question marks? Which trade do you believe will have the most significant impact on the 2026 season? Are there any prospects you feel were underrated in this ranking? Share your thoughts in the comments. MLB trade deadline superlatives. Best, worst, weirdest moves more. Buckle up. This MLB trade deadline was not for the faint of heart. Whether you're feeling triumphant or blindsided by your team's moves, one fact is clear. This season's deals will fuel debate for years to come. The whirlwind of transactions saw teams demanding and getting huge prospect hauls for their established veterans, with contenders eagerly meeting those lofty prices. Let's dive into the most jaw-dropping, head-scratching, and potentially game-changing deals of the year, starting with the trades destined to spark passionate discussion. The most impactful trade. The Toronto Blue Jays pulled off what some are calling grand larceny by acquiring ace Shane Bieber from Cleveland. They only surrendered prospect Khal Stephen, an impressive but unproven arm, in return. Bieber, fresh off promising rehab outings following Tommy John surgery, boasts a 62-32 record and a 3.22 ERA. If he regains his Cy Young form, Toronto's playoff hopes soar. And don't forget, he could anchor their rotation into 2026 unless he opts out. Can you believe the Guardians let him go for so little? That's bound to divide fans. The most questionable trade. On the flip side, the Cincinnati Reds raised eyebrows by swallowing Brian Hayes' entire hefty contract, roughly $38 million through 2029, in a deal with the Pirates. While Hayes is a defensive wizard with his gold glove, his bat has lagged. Just a .230 average, and a mere trio of home runs per year in his last 1,000 at-bats. The Reds parted with reliever Taylor Rogers, shortstop Sandy Stafura, and cash, a steep price for a small market club banking on future offensive improvements that just haven't materialized. Would you have made that gamble? Biggest winners. Seattle and San Diego stole the show for buyers. The Mariners padded their lineup with infield sluggers Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, and shored up their pen with lefty Caleb Ferguson. San Diego, not to be outdone, secured elite closer Mason Miller, reliable starter J.P. Sears, and two lineup-friendly bats in Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn. Not every franchise was this aggressive, and here's a question. Is going all in always the right move? Best sellers. Baltimore and Minnesota played the seller's market like pros. Baltimore consistently pulled in strong returns, while Minnesota practically blew up their bullpen, trading 5 arms with multiple years of control, plus stalwart starter Chris Paddock, face of the franchise Carlos Correa, and utility standout Willie Castros. Their trades netted 13 new players, including blue-chip prospects for closer Joan Duran. Some Twins loyalists feel burned. Did the front office go too far? Best decision to hold. Miami's patience could pay off big. They fielded calls on starters Sandy Alcantara and Edward Cabrera, but chose to keep their powder dry, betting the market will be even hotter in the offseason. The fish have surged lately, so this might be the rare not-to-trade move that sets up a franchise for more value later. Thoughts, Marlins fans? Worst decision to stand pat. Meanwhile, the Angels stayed almost entirely on the sidelines. Acquiring Andrew Chafin and Luis Garcia for the bullpen and infielder Oswald Peraza is barely a ripple. Most observers believe the Angels missed the moment. Trading high on Kenley Jansen and Taylor Ward might have turbocharged their rebuild. Instead, mediocrity and likely another playoff miss looms. Is it better to pull the trigger on a rebuild, even if it stings? Most baffling swap. Boston's move for reliever Steven Matz, a $12.5 million rental, soon-to-be free agent, in exchange for promising first baseman Blaze Jordan puzzled many. Jordan, batting over .300 with power in the minors, might have a brighter future than the aging Matz. Are the Red Sox thinking short-term at the expense of their future? Biggest overpay? The Mets may have blinked in desperation, flipping 2 coveted prospects and a controllable reliever to the Giants for Tyler Rogers, a reliever with just 2 months left on his contract. Unless prospect Drew Gilbert underwhelms, the Mets risk looking reckless. Headline position player. The Giants landed Rafael Devers in a midsummer blockbuster, instantly plugging elite power into their order. For July, Eugenio Suarez took top honors as the most impactful new bat on the move. Top pitchers on the move. Shane Bieber remains the crown jewel among starters traded, if health holds. Merrill Kelly, acquired cunningly by Texas, was a shrewd last-minute get. Elite relievers. No question, Mason Miller's journey to the Padres and Jahan Duran's swap to the Phillies will both reshape their new team's endgames. Sneaky bullpen gem. Texas's addition of lefty Danny Colomé, sporting a microscopic 1.09 ERA and able to retire batters on both sides of the plate, deserved more headlines. Best prospect moved. Leo De Vries, Athletics, centerpiece of the Mason Miller trade, is now rated the game's number 13 overall prospect by top evaluators. No pressure. Best feel-good reunion. Carlos Correa's emotional return to Houston lit up Astros fans. The city hasn't forgotten his World Series heroics and postseason swagger. Could this be the spark Houston needs? Top tandem acquisitions. Seattle scored big with Suarez and Naylor, while the Padres impressively grabbed Laureano and O'Hearn in one deal. 2-for-1 deals can swing a pennant chase if you pick the right pair. Most imaginative executive Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers head honcho, masterminded a bold 3-team deal, netting Los Angeles a trio of intriguing depth pieces. Other execs must envy his reputation for working the angles. Biggest fire sale. You almost never see a full bullpen get traded, but the Twins just about did it, waving goodbye to 5 relievers who could have stuck around. Did they miscalculate or smartly reset for the future? Most demanding front office. According to rival GMs, the Red Sox's asking prices became notorious, likely scuttling several possible deals. Is it smart to drive a hard bargain, or could it cost you long-term? Team that may have gone too far. Minnesota's 11-player fire sale might alienate its core fans. While rebuilding makes sense, when does a reset become a wholesale identity loss? The one who stayed that should have. 2025 MLB trade deadline. Biggest impact deals surprises. Are the 2025 trade deadline deals as impactful as they seem? Let's dive into the most significant trades and their potential impacts as evaluated by 33 MLB.com experts. Which player will have the biggest impact? Top choice, Eugenio Suarez, Seattle Mariners, 13 votes. Others, Jhoan Duran, Philadelphia Phillies, 11. Carlos Correa, Houston Astros, 4. Mason Miller, San Diego Padres, 2. Shane Bieber, Toronto Blue Jays, 1. Cedric Mullins, New York Mets, 1. Josh Naylor, Seattle Mariners, 1. Eugenio Suarez, the crown jewel of the 2025 trade market, returned to Seattle in a deal that many saw coming. With 36 home runs to his name, Suarez brings a potent bat to a Mariners team that desperately needed a power hitter. His presence could be crucial as Seattle chases a spot in the American League postseason. Jhoan Duran, meanwhile, fills a significant gap in the Phillies' bullpen. Acquired from Minnesota for a steep price, Duran has already shown his value with 2 saves in his first 2 appearances. His reliability as a closer could be a game-changer for Philadelphia. Who will shine in the postseason? Top choice, Carlos Correa, Houston Astros, 13 votes. Others, Mason Miller, San Diego Padres, 7. Eugenio Suarez, Seattle Mariners, 5. Jhoan Duran, Philadelphia Phillies, 4. Shane Bieber, Toronto Blue Jays, 2. Ryan Helsley, New York Mets, 2. Carlos Correa's return to Houston is a storyline that could define the 2025 postseason. With a .272 average, 18 homers, and an .849 OPS in 334 postseason plate appearances, Correa has a history of excelling under pressure. His experience and leadership could be invaluable, especially if key players like Yordan Alvarez and Isaac Paredes are sidelined. Relievers like Mason Miller, Jhoan Duran, and Ryan Helsley are also poised to make waves. While Miller lacks postseason experience, his electric fastball and nasty slider could make him a formidable force in the Padres' bullpen. Best buyer, who made the most moves? Top choice, San Diego Padres, 15 votes. Others, Seattle Mariners, New York Mets, 5. New York Yankees, 3. Toronto Blue Jays, 1. Houston Astros, 1. The Padres went all in at the deadline, acquiring a slew of players to bolster their roster. In addition to Mason Miller and J.P. Sears, San Diego also landed Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano from the Orioles, catcher Freddie Fermin from Kansas City, and lefty Nestor Cortez Jr. from Milwaukee. These moves significantly upgraded their rotation, bullpen, and lineup, positioning them strongly for the stretch run. The Mariners, who brought in Josh Naylor, Caleb Ferguson, and Suarez, and the Mets, who added Helsley, Cedric Mullins, Tyler Rogers, and Gregory Soto, also made notable improvements. Bestseller, who got the most talent? Top choice is Oakland Athletics, 26 votes. Others, Baltimore Orioles, 4. San Francisco Giants, 1. Cleveland Guardians, 1. Minnesota Twins. The Athletics may have parted ways with Mason Miller, but they received a treasure trove of prospects in return. Headlining the haul was 18-year-old shortstop Leo De Vries, MLB Pipeline's number 3 overall prospect. De Vries, along with Braden Nett and other top prospects, gives the A's a strong foundation for future success. The Orioles also capitalized on the Padres' aggressive trading, receiving 6 prospects for O'Hearn and Laureano. They further bolstered their farm system with prospects from trades involving Mullins, Andrew Kittredge, Seranthony Dominguez, and Ramon Urias. Most disappointing deadline. Who fell short? Top choice, Chicago Cubs, 13 votes. Others, Boston Red Sox, 11. Milwaukee Brewers, 4. Los Angeles Dodgers, 3. Detroit Tigers, 1. Minnesota Twins, 1. The Cubs made some moves, but many felt they could have done more. Adding Willie Castro, Michael Soroka, Taylor Rogers, and Andrew Kittredge is helpful, but it might not be enough in a competitive National League Central. With ace Justin Steele out for the season and Jameson Taillon on the injured list, the Cubs missed out on a big-name starting pitcher, which could be costly. The Red Sox, despite acquiring Steven Matz and Dustin May, were criticized for not making bolder moves. The lack of a significant right-handed bat and the absence of a high-upside starter like Garrett Crochet could haunt them down the stretch. Most surprising trade. What caught everyone off guard? Top choice. Carlos Correa traded from Minnesota to Houston. 19 votes. Others. Mason Miller traded from Oakland to San Diego. 10. Camilo Doval traded from San Francisco to New York Yankees. 1. Dustin May traded from Los Angeles Dodgers to Boston Red Sox. 1. Griffin Jax traded from Minnesota to Tampa Bay Rays. 1. Ke'Bryan Hayes traded from Pittsburgh Pirates to Cincinnati Reds. 1. While the idea of trading Carlos Correa wasn't entirely shocking, his return to Houston was a bombshell. The Astros, dealing with Isaac Paredes's hamstring injury and a need for a power bat, made a smart move by bringing back Correa. However, the timing and the circumstances surrounding the trade made it a standout moment of the deadline. The trade of Mason Miller from Oakland to San Diego was equally surprising. When the A's decided not to use Miller in a save situation the night before the deadline, it hinted at a potential trade. The reality of the deal, which netted the A's a package headlined by Leo De Vries, was even more eye-opening. The Padres, already boasting one of the best bullpens in MLB, added another elite reliever, making this trade a double whammy of surprise and impact. So, what do you think? Were these trades as impactful as the experts suggest, or do you have a different take? Share your thoughts in the comments below.